All right. Cool. So we are now live. And it is a pleasure having you here, Mars. I've been able to follow along from afar. I haven't really taken a deep dive just yet. But I have gotten your guys' giveaways in the Uplift community and have been passing those out. So I'm definitely excited to be speaking with you and just to learn more about this project. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, my name's Raul. I'm a YouTuber here, mainly covering the Uplift. This channel is a little bit of hobby for me, but yeah, we I'm working on some things on the back end with the Uplift, and I'm excited to share that stuff once we can share. Why don't you introduce yourself, Mars?
Yeah, so I'm Mars, Utah. Really started out, getting a presence through Upland, the blockchain game on ES. My man who put us together here for the interview from Our Planet and We Can Games, Bones, is actually a real life friend of mine. So he's the one to blame for all this. He brought me down this rabbit hole,
Nice.
and got into Upland. About a year ago or so, met a cat named Left House, who's a movie director. And so we have a YouTube channel, Upland Action News. That's branched out really to everything NFT. We cover Uplift as well. Metaforce has a plot in Uplift, as does Left, which is Left House. And we were both lucky enough to also win another plot in the contest they had there. So we'll be in Uplift.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but we made a music video. If anyone is into Upland and listens to the UpX podcast on Spotify, that's me rapping the intro song there.
Nice.
And then there's the full length video and song that Left House and I made. Metaforce, which we're mostly here to talk about, kind of came about through that. We all met through Upland, but it's a bit bigger than that, and the main artist is another one of my real life friends. But we all just kind of took our talents. We were headed the same way and formed a Metaforce here.
Very cool. Are you the founder of the project?
There's 5 founders. We all kind of have our own role. We do have on our website some interesting titles, that's metaforcecomics.io. Courier is one of the founders. You might see him out there. He has a lot of different projects. He's involved in Uplift, I know, and a lot of the different metaverses. And he's titled Our Evil Genius. He handles a lot of the blockchain things and the dealings with Atomic and setting up the smart contracts and everything there. My official title is Director of Imagination.
Nice.
And,
very cool.
our other founder, Left House, the movie producer, music producer, and my co-host on the Upland Action News, is Executive Reality Bender. And then also my buddy, the lead artist, ADK Original. He's just also the artist known as. And then we have T. Davis, who has a big presence in Upland. He's bought out the Little Italy neighborhood, and that's his brand. And so he's our code capo.
Very cool.
So he does a lot of our UX stuff. So we have 5 founders, and we all work together, but we all have our specialties.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I grew up on comic books, so hearing that, I'll back up. Actually, it's kind of funny, and I'm really happy that I discovered you guys, because for the longest while, with I guess back since like CryptoKitties and stuff, I've always wanted a way to view my NFTs like on some kind of handheld that I could just take in and out of my pocket, something where I can carry all my collectibles with me, and I also wanted something similar to view my comics on, because I have a collection of like older Spider-Man comic books. I have like all of the Walking Dead comic books. So I have a kind of like crates filled with comic books, and they take up a lot of space. So for a few years now, I've been looking for a dedicated device that I can use to view my comic books on. something kind of similar to like a Nook or something that's kind of small, has that reading a comic book kind of feeling still with it. So I'm definitely excited again to have found your guys' project. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about the project for those that don't know? So you guys are bringing comic books to the blockchain.
Yeah, well, just just to tackle a few things you mentioned there, because I'm also a lifelong comic fan. Right across the room from me, I have a few huge long boxes of comics.
Yeah.
So I feel your pain, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it is too, with what the blockchain is going to give back to us, other than being able to view comics digitally and also still own them and have them have value and trade them, is your physical comics. Now, if you really want them to have value, you have to get them graded, which means they're sealed
Right.
shut, and you can never appreciate, let alone reading the story, but all the amazing art on the inside of those books. You never get to see it again.
That is a bummer.
So, this style is also going to give that back to you. If your favorite cell is on page 15, you can go there all you want, and you're not going to ruin your book,
Right.
So, but yeah, so the overall story, we're starting out actually with a card set, because the long form NFT readable, thing that you just mentioned is what we're shooting for. And no one's really done that. There are digital non-blockchain assets, with the swipe reader and things like that. So we're trying to work with those kind of technologies to bring that over, to be able to load a long form NFT into a reader. So that's the goal. Not doable yet, so we're pretty much introducing the characters with this card set, and it's all born right out of the story that will be Metaforce. We did take the ambitious path of putting ourselves in as characters in the comic book. We're called the Citizens. It is a metaverse-based kind of reality-bending storyline. And the way it works, and the way that these cards are going to work with a burn mechanic, is you have your citizen, which is myself for Courier, T. Davis, Left House, and then another Upland player, Mixplick. He's a graphic VR artist, and you get to constructing things in the metaverse like you do in Uplift or any other world. And there's a mystical force that flows through all metaverses. We've titled it the Essence. I think you may know what it represents if you think about what one thing is changing all of these video games. So there's this force called the Essence that's giving ownership to people of their items. And when the citizens build their item, an interaction happens to a select few, and out the other side comes the champion. And so that's where the storyline begins. And for the card set, there'll be the citizens, the altars, they're called, which are objects, buildings, cars, whatever the citizen chooses to construct, and then an actual essence card. And the champions will not come in the packs. So you'll have to create the 3 elements for that character and burn them together to create the champion. So we tried to have the card set follow really the exact story and the origin stories of the characters.
Gotcha. Can you talk more on the citizens? I did also catch that you guys I saw Recurrier in there. I saw yourself in there. I think there was a couple more that I saw in there. Can you talk more on the citizens?
Yeah. Left House, and who's my partner on Upland Action News, and an amazing artist as well. And he's doing a lot of things. He has his own social token on Roll, and he's all over the place. And then Mixplick, like I said. But the premise of the whole comic is really the world that we're all living in by playing whatever it may be. If it's Uplift, Upland, if you're into Alien Worlds or Our Planet, everyone is, or even if you're into the lands on the Ethereum blockchain, everybody's getting a land and constructing something, and the thing that's changing and driving that is applying blockchain to these games. And so that's the real world backstory to our game is we are citizens who are interacting in that world. And when we get to constructing this object, and the essence is this, maybe for lack of a better comparison, force type of thing in our world, and some people just create their object and or their altar rather, and go about their day, and other citizens that are special for some reason create their altar and interact with the essence, and then they turn into a champion and fight the evil forces of the metaverse, which we've titled the Fed, the Federation of Evil, the Federation of Evildoers. And
who was the? I watched another video where you were covering it. Who is the? Who is it? Is the actual the bad guy in your comic? Is he an actual person?
No, the five. Okay, gotcha. There's going to be 5 evildoers, and those were purely invented. The citizens are versions of ourselves, and exaggerated versions of ourselves. Things we think we are or hoped we'd be. We took some liberties there, but and then the champions. It's kind of the same thing. I went around and talked to these guys, and it's like, hey, everybody dreamt about being a superhero. If you, I'm gonna make you one. What do you think is cool? Let's do that. And that's how we ended up with the champions.
And the champions are protecting the metaverse.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So everybody has heroes. So we wanted to, use some distinguishing monikers. So we went with champions there. And they do change back and forth between their forms, the citizens, and moving in and out of the metaverse almost. And, so we have big plans for trying to put as much multimedia into the comics as well, with the abilities that we have in this form.
Gotcha. And when you guys are launching, you mentioned you're not launching a comic book, so this is only going to be collectibles to start.
Yes, on May 1st, we have the card set, and then we're hoping, within a couple months, issue 1 will come out, and then the plan is probably every other month we'll release a book, depending on workload. We are a small team, so once we get it rolling, we have the storyline planned out, into almost into 2023 now. So we did a lot of back work and writing before we started the art, because we didn't want to paint ourselves into a corner. Sometimes you get into these sci-fi and comic projects where you get into it and then you have to try to figure out an origin, and you're making it up on the fly and it doesn't make sense. And then you try to move forward and you're stuck. So on the creative side, we made a big effort to make sure that, we had a path planned forward for the foreseeable future. So these champions and, characters in general ended up making sense.
Right on. And this is totally changing subject, but I totally did not even address this. I love your mask. Does that play into the story at all? What's the reason behind the mask?
The mask has been around well before the story. This is just who Mars Utah is.
Okay.
I am a character. I'm a lifelong musician and artist. I've gone under a lot of different pseudonyms. Mars has been tied into a lot of them. I was a front man of a band for a long time, and a lot of different things like that. And I like to entertain. I like to have fun, but there is a reason why I like to maintain some anonymity as well.
Absolutely. Very cool. Yeah, I had to touch. I'm sure there's people wondering the same exact thing.
I understand. It's not what you expect to see when you tune into a show about NFTs and blockchain gaming.
Yeah, for sure. I mentioned that I don't like. I'm kind of thinking this YouTube channel is going to be a hobby for myself. So I've been playing with the idea of doing some like virtual avatar live streaming, so where you don't even see me, I just I'm like a virtual avatar. So very cool. I like it.
Whatever chance you can get to be creative, my advice is to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I'm not new to the internet, but I am new to like communities on the internet and really participating. So with the Uplift, I want to say it's probably the first community that I've really put some real effort towards and into. And yeah, I had similar thoughts come across my mind where I'd be thinking like, you know, I could kind of be whoever I want. If I work hard in this community, I can kind of make my a name for myself, and so yeah, very cool.
Yeah, everybody, you have to live that normal life, and some people it's not that exciting, whatever it may be. It doesn't even have to be everybody, but you like to get out of yourself and have some fun, and these metaverses give us a chance to take some liberties with that and have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, it's been fun. To get back to Metaforce though, is there going to be a physical comic coming along with it, like in the future?
We really hope so. I can't say that there's been any plans.
Gotcha.
Because that's just such a big hurdle.
Right.
A lot of those hurdles is the reason why we're here. And, the reason why I think the entire NFT space is exploding like it is, because small independent projects like ours and a bunch of others out there, can take a very small amount of startup fee or just simply effort and, make a project and distribute it to a lot of people, if you market correctly and just get out there. Where making a physical book is, the costs and the expenses and the distribution and getting it in front of the right eyeballs and everything else that you need to do there. So, that would definitely follow, any kind of awesome level of success that we'd be flattered by here.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. And are you able to talk at all on where you guys are at in the building process for the new comic book? Like I know you guys, this is new tech that doesn't exist right now, correct?
Yeah. I'm not the best to speak on that. T. Davis really is our tech guy who works with our website and integrating that into that. I know he's working with people who, like I said, have that tech going on, but not related to blockchain. The swipeable magazine readers and things like that. More the creative end there. So I know he's working hard, but as far as getting into the nuts and bolts of exactly where we're at with that, unfortunately I can't get too into that.
No worries. Yeah, I'm excited for it. I can't wait until I can, read comics like that. And you already can, but it's on the blockchain, so it makes it that much better, right?
Yeah. And, like you said, as we were saying before, you understand comics, so you have to keep them so pristine, and it just eliminates the ability to enjoy them. So
right.
I think that gives us some space back, and, with the card set, we tried to just not be another launch of a card set, not to say it that way, but, there's, you go on Atomic Hub and there's every weekend there's launches, and not that they're all exactly the same, but we really tried to think of some new wrinkles and elements beyond, the art and, just the way it executes as well. We do have 7 rarity levels, and, that is quite a few, but each one is really unique. The way we're executing our borders, I showed you one of the cards in the chat. That's a common card, so it's pretty flashy, and each character has their own border that alters up through the levels with them.
Okay.
So the common level borders aren't the same across every character. There's a theme that goes through them, but each character's border is unique to them across common. The uncommon, it changes, but is unique to each character, with the same theme on up all the way to the collector's edition, which is a, probably a 10-second animation, basically. Then we added in, these burn mechanics to create the champions that follow the storyline, like I said, so they won't even be available in the packs. The way we're going to launch, the pack sale is going to be at noon Eastern on May 1st. and then it'll be 2 hours until you can actually open the packs. That way everybody can get them if there's trouble with the sale, because
smart.
the champions can only be created. So those first ones, the process is going to be called Metafusion, and you'll be able to execute that right on the Atomic Hub website. So we've partnered with them for the pack sale right on Atomic Hub, and you won't have to leave the website. You'll be able to, execute the Metafusion burns to create the champions right there as well. But that should give people the buffer to get the cards that they want and not have other people opening and creating while other people are still trying to buy. So,
that's good.
Thank you. Yeah, and there's interesting, sets of, we have some pools set up to the way they release. Because of the burn mechanic, we went back and forth with the team, Recurrier and I, quite a bit. And, because of you're going to be racing to create just the mints of the champions, or essentially. And then, I'm not sure, how familiar you are, but it takes a minute for the number to be assigned to the NFT once you mint it, and some people may get to just racing to the Metafusion and end up burning the number 1 mint and not even know they ever had it. Right. And so we really didn't want that to happen. So we set the pack release up in 3 pools, which just means, it will all be back end, but as you work through the amount of packs sold. So the number 1s will actually be in the second pool. So it'll be. I
see. So first pool starts at 2.
Yes. Yep. And it's all pre-minted, till the packs work through that pool, and then the number 1s in another pre-minted pool, drop in there. I see. And then once we get through that, there is a third pool that'll end up being mint on demand. And that's also where the promo packs will come out of.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So first pool starts at number 2, and there is a number, so there's going to be a cutoff number, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yep. In the contract, once we work through this amount of volume and packs, basically, then we're just the second pool will start going into those packs. They're not different packs. It's just all, back end. Once that first pool is gone, it just switches right over to the second pool. And then the number 1s drop in.
Gotcha. And you guys aren't sharing what those numbers are for like the first pool cutoff. Is that correct?
No. To be honest with you, I'm not even sure exactly where that is.
Okay.
I think Recurrier and Atomic Hub might be the only ones that know those numbers.
Gotcha.
As you're viewing the packs, it's really hard to pin down what that number is going to be, because of any different combination of different size packs. You're going to hit that number at a different point. As you think about it, because we're going to have a 5-card pack and a 30-card pack. Oh, gotcha. So depending on how many of each get you to that point, it's kind of hard to predict how many packs you're looking to get until you're through that pool.
What are your guys' price points for those packs?
So it's $5 for the 5-card pack, and then $25 for the 30.
Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I might be able to pick up a few then.
Yeah. We're looking, to be kind to the folks. It's a limited release. It is small, but like I said, we're Metaforce Comics. We're looking to release comics regularly, like a regular series. So, this is just a kickoff and the introduction to the characters. We're going to be around. So we wanted to make people happy and do some unique things that people like here.
Absolutely. Any, are you guys, I know you had mentioned, you guys have some plans for years out. Do you guys plan on releasing like monthly?
Probably every other month to start,
gotcha.
To get the technology rolling, and that's really gonna be based on our workload.
Gotcha.
Because like yourself, I do spend probably 10 hours a day in the metaverse, but it is also a hobby. So, depending on where we get with our workloads and how things work out and things like that, we'd love to get to an every month release. So it's just, we don't want to promise more than we can deliver. So we're really just trying to fill it out get it going. But we do have a story arc, worked out and planned out. And as characters show up in the books, we will be doing, card sets of those characters this same way intermittently, probably not too frequently, but as we introduce enough characters to make it, a valid thing to do.
Very cool. Awesome. Ziploc in the comments is asking, are these going to be stakeable on our planet?
I cannot totally confirm that. The application is in.
Awesome.
As you know, Bones is my guy. So we're hoping, we know that those guys at our planet are really picking up steam and working on a ton of projects. I know, every project that launches wants to be stakeable on there because those guys are really killing it. So, we're keeping our fingers crossed, but we really hope so. That's
awesome. Yeah. I'm sure loads of us would love to see you guys on there also, right? I mentioned earlier, I've been giving away some of your guys' stickers in the Uplift Telegram channel, and those are hot.
Nice. I'll have to give you a bunch more if you're out then.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely the artwork catches people's attention because you don't really see much like it on the market right now. So very cool.
Yeah. Thank you. That is, we do have another Atomic Hub collection that we started with, which is ADK Original and I. Like I said, we've been friends. We used to draw comics at his mom's kitchen table, in 7th grade.
Nice.
We've been, this is what we do. Not what we've done for a living, but this is who we are and what we do. And we do work like one person. It's pretty crazy. The way that the synergy that we have, usually there's, someone who does the penciling and someone who does the inking. Right. But, I'll come up with an idea and, do my best, to sketch it out. He'll take that same drawing and just, make it way better with the penciling and then send it back to me and I'll do some of the inking. Just to manage the workload. He's definitely a better penciler than I am, so, that's how it flows. If I need him to work on something, I send it to him and he finishes it. So it's really, really a blurred line with our creations, but he is the man with the absolute talent on that end with the finished product. So he's killing it. He's a tattoo artist. We were a wrestling tag team. He and I have been through the fire together, so we're just gonna keep rolling. It's a good time.
That's awesome. Actual wrestling?
Yeah. I've powerbombed him through a table before. That's how you get to be really good friends.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool, man. I have my best friend. Shout out to Salim. We grew up watching WWF, WWE, all that, and as kids, we always said that we'd be pro wrestlers when we were older. He was never really into, I guess, the whole physical part and everything that goes, all the training and all that. So we had this kind of like inside joke where I would be the pro wrestler and he'd be the camera guy. So yeah, very cool.
Nice. Yeah. No, we've always been into it, and our one of our good buddies, Matt Riddle, is currently winning some belts in the WWE. So that's been exciting. The bro.
Yeah, that must be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, we're both into MMA, so we have some friends in that world. Going back to Left House, who's in Metaforce, we have Upland Action News YouTube channel, and we get ambitious and do some silly contests related to Upland. And we came up with the idea to have the Coast to Coast Christmas special, where you actually flew around and took trains and things inside of Upland and tuned in, to pretend like you're traveling with us, and had guests and things like that. And had one of my friends, Sam Hoger, who is a UFC fighter from the Ultimate Fighter 1 back in the day, came on to do the in-flight entertainment while we were flying coast to coast in Upland. So we have some fun and bring in some people.
Nice. Do you do any martial arts training yourself?
Yeah, we're not so much anymore because I'm pretty much overwhelmed.
Mm.
But I am very much into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Done some
Oh,
boxing,
okay.
and Muay Thai. I'm from New York, so we're kind of affiliated to the Renzo Gracie system
Right,
of
right.
schools around here. So
Very cool. I have about a year's worth of jujitsu under my belt with 10th Planet.
oh, nice.
Yeah,
How's your
yeah,
rubber
yeah.
guard working? You got that rubber guard? Are you flexible enough?
I am yeah, nowhere near as flexible as any of those guys that can do that, but I'm definitely trying to work towards it. I'm a
Yeah,
noob.
the
I get my butt handed to me almost every class. So
yeah, that's jujitsu for you. You know,
hmm
you just you get your ass handed to you, and then as soon as you get discouraged, then it clicks, and you realize that you're pretty good.
yeah, I train at two gyms. 10 Planet is my main gym, and I have a friend who runs another one who they have like a small jujitsu class, and they train I think maybe 2 or 3 times. They just bumped it up to 3 times a week, so it's not a dedicated jujitsu gym. And being able to see the skills that I learned at 10th Planet, taking them over to this other gym, I definitely know it's working. So it's
Yeah, no, those are fun. That's kind of how my background went too. Way back in the
mm,
day, jujitsu used to be, it's starting to come around, but it is not a cheap hobby to have.
yeah.
And so, we did a lot of guerrilla training too, in garages with mats and, 10 guys who were blue belts, just having at it,
Nice. Nice. Yeah. Rolling around. Very, very cool. So let's get back. I want to touch a little bit more on the burning mechanics. There's so many different methods that people are using to burn to upgrade to higher rarities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you guys just burning one? Are you mixing? I know like uplift art, they might burn like 10 at a time, others might just burn one for one. How are you guys
Yeah.
doing it?
It is, it works out to 3 for 1, but it is
Okay, gotcha.
directly tied to the story. Like I
Mm,
was saying before with the classes, there's, well, the essence is really a class of its own,
mm,
but there's 4 classes of characters. You have the evildoers, and they're pretty standard. They're not involved in the burn mechanic at all. And
mm,
then in the pack, you're going to have the citizens, the altars, and then the essence.
gotcha.
And so you have to collect the correct citizen, the altar that goes with them, and the
Mm,
essence of the same rarity level, and burn all 3 of
okay,
them together. But it is a lateral creation. So you create a champion of the same rarity. You're not moving up or
I
down
see.
levels. But the champions, like
Mm,
I said, do not come in the pack at all. So that is the only way to create them.
gotcha. Okay,
Um,
very cool.
there will be some descriptions to make it easier in the metadata as well to tell
Mm,
you what the matches are.
mm,
To make it clear for you, I'll break down kind of the character of Mars Utah. I'll talk in third person because it's not totally me. But it is tied a bit to my experience in Upland. When I first started playing that game, I found a neighborhood called Buena Vista, which, Upland's tied to the real tax map of the real world.
right.
So I was looking around this pretty interesting neighborhood in San Francisco. And, I'm Mars. My fiance actually plays as well, and she's Venus, Utah. And
Mm,
we already had those monikers, and I stumbled upon a real place in San Francisco called Mount Olympus.
mm-hmm.
So I proceeded to buy, the virtual property on the top of Mount Olympus and claim that as my home base, and wanted to build the Pantheon, up on top of that. So that's kind of what
Mm,
generated the storyline that drives my character. So and then my champion that Mars Utah turns into is called Wardrop.
mm.
A little play on airdrop. We're just going to drop some war on your ass instead of some free coins.
Nice, nice.
He's kind of a visual combination of a gladiator and a samurai. Everything that I
Mm,
love. Like I said, we kind of consulted with everybody and just really tried to make them happy with the character that represented them.
Right.
So out of the cards, you'll have to collect the Mars Utah, the Pantheon altar card, and then the Essence, and then you burn all of those, and then you'll get a war drop, of whatever mint it is in the however many people are in front of you in the metafusion process, basically. And that goes for all 5 characters. So
I see.
Like T. Davis is one of the citizens. As I said, he's tied to the Little Italy neighborhood. That's his brand. And so his home base is the famed Umberto's Clam House. If you know that one, it's kind of mafia lore where Crazy Joe Gallo was killed in a hit in the restaurant. So it's
nice.
Kind of one of those bizarre Little Italy tourist attractions in New York City. And so in his story, you collect the T. Davis citizen card, you collect the Umberto's altar card, and in essence of the same rarity. And then you get his champion, who's called the Block Father, who's the ruler of Little Italy.
Very cool. And I'm getting stuck on the champion being in the same rarity. So, so you would burn the 3. Let's just say, what's like? Is there a name for your guys' like common rarity?
Yeah, we're following the standard set, so it is just common, uncommon.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, rare.
So, okay, so then if I have a citizen, an altar, and then what was the third piece?
The essence is kind of the universal resource. Yeah.
Okay, so citizen, altar, essence, all common. If I burn all 3 of those, do I get a common champion?
Yes. Yeah.
I see. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So since they don't come in the packs at all, it's a lateral burn. So it's not a race to get to the higher level. It's just a race to create the mint number for that same rarity champion.
Gotcha. Okay, very cool. Now I totally get it now.
Yeah, we tried to focus a bit. We looked at what other projects are doing. And the mint sprint thing really seemed to pick up speed, and people enjoy it. And it is fun and adds that level of excitement. The one thing, being the artist as well, some of the projects. It was hard for me to sort out the very bottom rarities because they seem semi-disposable to me. But just the ability to collect them and then burn them to go up. And so with our collection, we still wanted every single card to need, if you wanted to complete the set at whatever rarity level, everyone's important. So if you want the whole set, you'll have to get 2 champions and 2 altars, to complete the set. Wow. So those cards don't become disposable. They're still key parts of the set. So
gotcha.
There's a lot that we thought about there. The mint sprints and all that stuff. It is super fun. You end up with really varying levels of cards as well. All over the place. So because of that mechanic, there will be more citizens and altar cards in the packs. Then obviously we intend to stick around because they will be burned.
Gotcha.
So in theory, if every possible matchup was made, there would be no essence cards left at all, and all card levels would be the same.
Gotcha.
That's not going to happen. So as you get closer, you're going to get near, a decision. Would I rather keep my essence card than burn it to create a champion of that's number now? So there's going to be a lot of scenarios, maybe even ones that we didn't think of, that people have to consider. And then when you get up to the collector's edition level, you're talking about burning 3 collector's edition cards to create that collector's edition champion.
Yeah, that's a heavy price tag, right? Especially because you got to think let's say you open up like one of those rare ones, you'll have like an immediate attachment to that card.
Yeah.
Right. And then you get that 2 more times, and now you're thinking like, crap, like these are some really good cards. I want to burn this for this other one that maybe has a lower mint or whatever.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you may have to do some research and see, how many
Mm-hmm.
champions have been created through the Metafusion to see what mint number
Mm,
you might be around, to make that decision and figure out if it's worth keeping what you have. It should be fun. We tried to make
yeah.
it interesting and a good time without totally making it about just racing towards value,
Mm,
towards something that's more rare, and to try to have some decisions to make as well.
hmm. I like what you guys are doing with the pack sale, and how you guys have the different pools. So already that appeals to, both parties, people that like the mint sprints, people who don't, and then you're taking care of all the people that might be running into issues, like when there's something that's highly sought after, the website would break or something. So people are running into, now we have those captchas, and uh, the drops that I've been a part, you start seeing like a commonality in the issues, and yeah, it sounds like you guys have some pretty good safeguards for that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
good on
thank
you
you.
guys.
We tried to make sure, because that's the last thing you want. As someone who
Hmm.
wants to who enjoys your project so far, wants to be a part of the community, and then they have a bad buying experience. They miss out
Mm,
on being able to craft at the same time as everybody else. It's just we don't want any. We want to avoid that at all costs. You can't
right.
eliminate it, and who knows what could happen, but we're doing everything that we can to eliminate it. I
Hmm.
know there's some other projects where they've had a 24-hour waiting period.
Oh
Um,
wow. Hmm.
yeah, so I know the Upland cards, they had a 24-hour period until you could open them. And there
That's
was no
torture.
yeah, and there was no mint sprint really either. So
Mm,
I'm sure it was just to ensure everyone could buy them, I guess. I didn't really get to the bottom of it, but
mm,
everyone has their lives. And
right.
so to require people to be around on Saturday for the drop and put aside their life to make sure that they're there, and then to ask them to do it again the next day
Mm,
for
mm,
the opening, I think is just too much to ask of people who want to have a good time. So, if you
sure.
want to be in on this, you can block out, 3-4 hours of
Hmm.
your day. And we're going to be live streaming over on our Upland Action News YouTube channel that day.
Okay.
If you're around, feel free to jump in. Bones is going to be there. We're actually going to be in the same.
Yeah.
We're going to be in the same location. Like I said, Bones is a personal friend of mine. So
Mm,
I have Red Planet Art was my first project. So there's also that on
okay.
Atomic Hub is Red Planet Art. A lot of things we put out
Mm,
before Metaforce started. And there is an actual team there that helps me out. Just they're all friends, but they help me run the
mm,
live events that we do for Upland and things like that.
sure.
And so we're all getting together that day to, hopefully have a little celebration and do some live streaming and crafting and things like that. So that'll be
Excellent.
starting at 1:30 Eastern on Saturday. So we're not going to be
Gotcha.
live for the sale, but we're going to jump on for the pack openings and craftings. And if
Oh,
anybody,
sweet.
if anybody's having trouble, hopefully, they can watch us and they can comment and we'll be able to help you through it.
Nice. Nice. Yeah.
So,
I that's very cool, man. What are you most excited for when it comes to Metaforce, and just where you guys are headed?
I mean, it's really already happening. It's for me, it's
Mm,
just personal. It's this realization of just years of dreams.
sure.
I've had art out there and I've had kinds of successes. Like I said, mostly more in music than visual arts. I did have some
Mm,
visual arts, but we played a lot of shows and did some touring and things like that. One of my favorite parts of Upland is I bought CBGB's, where the old punk rock club was, and I actually performed
hmm.
there in my music days. So I was pretty excited to get my
Oh,
hands on that.
yeah.
But for me and ADK Original, like I said, we're lifelong friends who've always pushed towards this world. But back in the
Mm,
day, before NFTs, when it was just dominated by the big companies, or
hmm.
trying to bankroll printing your comics, it was just not a doable thing that we ever pulled off. So for us to come
Mm,
back together here later in life, with Left House, Rick Courier, and T Davis, and these new friends that we've made, and to just turn dreams into reality is really what I'm most excited about. But just this whole thing, I'm definitely excited to, more so open the packs and start crafting and have fun with people and just see the reception. Then, obviously the sale is great, but we're just looking towards the future, and we just want to make people happy. And if people enjoy this, then that's going to be amazing. We really tried to build this for the fans and the real collectors. I guess I should say that with a little caution. As opposed to, the people who try to hoard and flip and not really enjoy the collection. There is something built into our packs that probably is going to be pretty controversial that I definitely should mention.
Are you able to talk on that?
Yeah. So if they are not opened in a year from launch, the packs will not be able to be opened. They will lock, and you will never be able to access those cards.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So there's a expiration, a hard date as to open them. What was your guys' reasoning behind that?
There's a lot of reasons there, and for those, before people get confused, it's not like you're going to lose your pack. The way it works technically, your pack really is just an image like your card is, and then when you burn that, the smart contract calls the cards for your pack out of the pool. So there will just be no more cards to pull. You'll still, if you pull a number one pack and you plan to hold that and never open it, then it really doesn't matter to you because you're never going to open it.
Nobody wants to do that.
But we also, you have these collections where you have a super limited NFT, but you have a bunch of unopened packs, and you have that dreaded infinity symbol still there next to the mint number. And at any point, who knows when, your 3 of 3, could be a 3 of 10, or whatever could happen if those if those templates are open. So basically, on the end of April 2022, those cards essentially will all burn, the contracts will close, the templates will close, and you will get a hard number on how many of those cards actually exist.
And I see. And I think having that infinity symbol, it kind of hurts the value of the collectibles. So if we give it a hard number, I see where you guys are going with that. Very cool. Okay.
Yeah, so anything that's has not been cashed in by that date, essentially, it's not going to be able to come out, and that infinity turns into whatever is actually being held by people opened. So if you make that hard choice, to burn those 3 collector's editions to get one of the collector's edition champions, you're not going to know 2 years down the line somebody does it 3, 5 more times. You know what you have.
Totally. What does Metaforce look like in, let's say, like 2 or 3 years? What do you think Metaforce is going to look like then?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we're monthly by then for sure. We're looking to do collaborations and move through Metaforce worlds, either officially or unofficially, depending on what we can get done with the teams, to experience, all these different communities and have evildoers that are tailored to their communities. Even this first set of 5 evildoers are somewhat tailored to different existing metaverses. As far as their likes and dislikes and the things that they hate. There is going to be a lot of information on the back of the cards about these characters. So we did try to tie in as much of the comic lore as we could. It has a very retro action figure card back vibe to it. So we're providing a lot of information there that should help you connect the dots, and we did try to leave some Easter eggs in there if we do end up having some hardcore fans, which hopefully we do. We did build some things in that are benchmarks for us, where people notice this and start talking about it, then we know they care.
Absolutely. And I mean, there's no other comic books out there. There's some people maybe have gone down that route, but a full-fledged comic book that doesn't exist quite yet, right?
No, there's been some other comics, and they've been more like page panels or
Right.
kind of different kinds of art structured in the comic
Mm.
panel style, but not really the true
Not like
comic art.
right.
And the long form I know has not at least come out yet.
Mm.
So there's nothing
That's
that I'm aware of for sure.
I agree with that. I definitely also like just the fact that you guys are creating history. Um, that's a big one for me. I like the sentimental value behind that. So already you guys have a fan here, but also that's kind of why a big part of me likes the uplift as well, is because although yes it is a game, uh, its potential is really big, as to what it could be. I've heard Corey say a couple times now that the uplift has a potential to change the internet browser, where we've been living with this kind of 2D experience since early 2000s, 90s, whatever it was, and now I feel like the uplift can be the next evolution in the internet browser and becoming a 4D or 3D type of thing. And I know you guys also have a spot in the uplift. Um, Forgive me, I kind of lost my train of thought as to where I was going with that. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Are you able to talk at all as to what you guys are building, and if that plays any role in the future? As
Yeah.
far as your guys' journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Rick Courier is the one of our team members who is definitely most involved in Uplift, and I know there's been a lot of movement with all the different worlds, so I don't want to use the wrong terms, but I know there's what was originally the community cluster. I'm not sure.
Right.
So in that area, we have the Metaforce land. And that has been being built on for quite some time, and is really built up with a lot of our structures. I know we have had a lot of good builders there. My beloved Pantheon altar already exists there, as well as some other ones. I personally have not been in there yet because I believe it's just builders getting whitelisted in there so far.
Right.
And I know that Left House also has some builders in the left land, so we're pretty all well connected. But the Metaforce land is already being pretty well built up. So when everything's open, it should be a pretty good experience for people there.
Yeah, I'm excited for the future and everything that it's going to bring, because I mean all of this stuff is so exciting, right? I imagine in a couple of years from now, and I'll use you guys for example, where we're going to see that the uplift isn't just a video game, and it's going to be reflected inside the metaverse. And my hope one day is maybe to see the Metaforce in there, maybe even acting as our very first virtual comic book shop, where you can go in and buy Metaforce comics and come out, and you have your NFT sent straight to your wallet. Those are the kind of things that I'm excited for. I see the Metaforce blockchain comics, this hasn't been done before. And then we have the uplift with this new 3D experience, and it's I see where we're moving towards. And you hear rumors of large companies like Apple coming out with their VR goggles, and it's just where we're going is really exciting, and and I hope you guys consider doing things like that also, right? First comic book shop.
That's actually, to be honest with you, that's where we started. So, Uplift is fairly new. Like I said, we got into Upland, Rick Courier, Left House, and I all pretty much about a year ago started playing Upland. And Rick Courier and I are very comic based. And when we started chatting in the Discord, that was really kind of what connected us. Was he had already started developing this idea of Upland Comics as an NFT kind of collectibles shop built out within Upland. You know, at this point in time, you know, it was real new, so we didn't really know the time frame on the roadmap or anything like that. We were just, you know, running with ideas that were coming out of our heads. And you know, I had one of the Red Planet art first collections is called Fan Art Ultra. It's a lot of existing character fan art that we did that's on Atomic Hub under the Red Planet art. And we were going to open, you know, so plan was to open a same type of shop, you know, to sell that NFT art. And also one of the collections is OG Signworks, which is a metaverse commercial billboard company that we had brainstormed to build NFT billboards to hang on the outside of your metaverse structures.
Nice.
You know, for all your business needs. So that's also a collection on Atomic Hub under Red Planet Art. There's a few signs there. One for my beloved Mount Olympus. You know, so that's, you know, when we were really just letting our imagination run wild on the concept of metaverse for the first time.
Absolutely.
You know, we all hooked up, and that's, you know, where we started really. And then, you know, we just got to the point of why not start our own comic, you know, and then we kind of just brainstormed the idea of what it should be and, you know, what we could do. And the overlay of what was really happening seemed to be an interesting enough story to really springboard from, you know, so that's why it starts with us. You know, it's not totally based out of ego. You know, we looked at the situation we were in, and you know, it was a really unique situation where you're kind of in your normal life, and you know, log into the metaverse, and you know, can transform into whatever you want to be.
Yep.
And it seemed like a pretty solid premise for a comic book, and we were just off to the races after that. But you know, that is the end goal. You know, to have these immersive worlds. You know, I know that there's now a tie between the Our Planet lands and the Uplift lands, and you know, just so many things happening. You know, we do have Our Planet land as well, some Alien Worlds land. So you know, that's really is our goal, is to try to be everywhere with those kind of setups, like you said. You know, just whatever each place has to offer. It does look like Uplift is going to be the one executing those things first, so that. You know, that we could very, very well have the first Metaforce comic shop in there. It's not a stretch.
Right. No, yeah, definitely not. That's I am so just thankful to be able to sit in front of these different people like yourself and learn about all these new projects. That's all of the questions that I have for you. I'm excited for you guys. I'm going to be pushing you guys, you know, pushing the word out about you guys. You guys have a fan here, and I hope we get to do this again. Do you have any last words you want to say to the community?
Yeah, well, I'll just, you know, say the same thing back to you. Really, that was, you know, I really enjoyed talking to you. You know, thank you for having me on. And you know, I feel the same way. You know, every day I wake up and, you know, sit down in front of my computer here and just continue to meet awesome people in great communities. You know, and you know, you're a great guy, so I'm really glad that Bones put us in touch. You know, this is a great conversation. And you know, thank you for the support. I'll definitely, you know, get you some more stickers to keep dropping to your people out there. And you know, if you do want to, I'll be in touch. If you do want to come on the stream on the first with us and craft and open and have a good time, we can make it a party.
Yeah, heck yeah.
You know, just thanks for having me. And you know, if anybody has any questions, you know, we're metaforcecomics.io is our website. At Metaforce Comics on Twitter. I'm at Mars Utah on Twitter. You know, Red Planet Art. If you want to find my solo stuff on Atomic, we've got you know, Telegram and Discord for Metaforce. So, you know, if you want to get into the communities, we've got drops happening, everything else. Definitely join the Twitter, because, you know, this we're a week out, you know, a week from now, we'll be probably, you know, cooling down the crafting. So it's exciting. So this next week's going to be in fast forward. So just keep your eyes out and just appreciate it. Thanks again.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I will. I'm gonna clear my day so I can be there with you guys to hang out. I'd love to hang out with all you guys and do all that together. Very cool. Cool. Well, that's it. That's all I got. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and we will definitely be in touch again. So I'm looking forward to that as well.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, guys.